Got Julia Manchester now. She's a national politics reporter for The Hill, and she's joining us to dive more into this. And Julia, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mitch.
Let's start right there in Pennsylvania, where Senate candidates John Fetterman and Dr. Mehmet Oz have agreed to debate, but neither campaign has released details on where or when it will happen. I think it's important about what concessions will be made, too, because Fetterman is still recovering from a stroke.
Absolutely. We have John Fetterman still recovering from that stroke. He might need some more time to prepare. But you have the Oz campaign and many of Dr. Oz's allies really starting to criticize Fetterman over this. And the race has taken a very negative turn in that you've seen Dr. Oz's team, almost seem to mock John Fetterman for having his stroke and, for what they say is a long time to recover. So that's one aspect of it. But really, Mitch, over the past couple of days alone, we have seen the race take an even more negative tone, if it, could even get more negative. For example, yesterday we saw a pro-Oz group release a $500,000 ad buy targeting African-American voters over a 2013 incident when John Fetterman was mayor of Braddock and he held a gun to a black jogger's head, chest, believing that he had or suspecting he had committed a crime. So you have the Oz team and Oz allies really trying to highlight that. And of course, on the other side of this, John Fetterman has been really trying to highlight what he says are signs that Dr. Oz is out of touch, his multiple properties, his lack of ties to Pennsylvania. So I would say that out of all of the midterm election races we have this year, Pennsylvania is probably one of the most negative to watch.
It's one of the most negative. It's also one of the most compelling because these two guys keep going after each other in pretty, unconventional ways. There's a lot of millennial, Gen Z, passive-aggressive tweets going on, I would say. But let's move on, though. We've got 7 states for me off the top of my head that I can think of where there's a toss-up Senate race, and I'm thinking about Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, Ohio, Florida, Arizona. Which one interests you the most, aside from Pennsylvania, which we've already discussed?
I would say Nevada and, I'm going to cheat here and pick 2. Nevada and Wisconsin interest me the most. So in Nevada, we have an incumbent Democratic Senator, Catherine Cortez Masto, the first Latina to serve in the Senate. She is very much seen as a very strong candidate. However, she's going up against Adam Laxalt, a very pro-Trump conservative. And I think this race will really serve as a bit of a litmus test for how far Trump's message can actually go and whether voters in a swing state like Nevada, which has very much a bit of a libertarian streak in it, whether they would go for a Democrat or a pro-Trump Republican. Now, in Wisconsin, you have somewhat similar dynamics. You have the incumbent Ron Johnson, who is very conservative, very pro-Trump, going up against the Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. And with Mandela Barnes, that would obviously be very historic. He would be the first black man to represent Wisconsin in the Senate or even on Capitol Hill. So that's something we're very much watching closely. But those 2 races are interesting because you have pro-Trump candidates, and we'd see how far their message goes. I think President Trump will be watching both of those states because it'll be an indication of how successful his brand and messaging is in a swing state or a very contentious election environment.
We've only got 60 days left to talk about this, Julia. I don't know what we're going to talk about after that. I'm sure we'll find something. That's Julia Manchester. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.